What's happening, beautiful people? I'm up late right now uploading this video, and for some reason on my end, it just came out. The quality came out really bad. It looks like I was recording it on a home video in 1997 or something. So the good news is everything is good on Andrew's end. He looks good. I got to figure out what's going on with mine. I don't know if it's my internet, my speed, my bandwidth, or if I need to get a new laptop or what's going on. But I just wanted to make a quick note about that. So you weren't like, what's going on with Taj? Is he recording off of Motorola Razor or what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, hope you get a lot out of this video, this interview with Andrew. He dropped a lot of gems on there. So make sure you watch it all the way through, especially if you're a former athlete. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, this is Taj Deshaun here. Today I'm joined by Andrew Atakpo, also known as AAA. The man,
That's right.
the man,
That's right.
the myth, the legend himself in the flesh. Andrew's a former basketball player at Cal Lutheran, and we just finished up our time working together. Really enjoyed working with this guy. Had a lot of laughs on the calls, a lot of fun. I wanted Andrew to come on and share his story because he has a great story, had a great transformation, and I think that him sharing can help a lot of other retired athletes who are going through the transition or about to go through the transition. So appreciate you coming on, Andrew.
Absolutely. Yeah. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. So we'll just get right to it, man. Just kind of tell everybody, what was life like for you once basketball was over and you entered the workforce, the real world, so to speak?
Yeah, it was definitely a transition, as everyone will have going through it. For me, it was something obviously I knew. For me, I knew. I mean, going the next step, at least obviously professional NBA wasn't in my picture, but I had teammates and stuff going overseas to play, and that was something I could have pursued potentially as well. But for me, I just wanted to kind of jump into getting into professional world and getting started that way. And but it is something definitely hard to pinpoint exactly what I wanted to do next. What was what type of industry, and how to really get into it. It was a whole nother thing. And so it was a challenge to find a position that I was really going to enjoy and like. And I started off just actually at a roofing company initially, and it was a management trainee position, and good opportunity that way to learn skills and learn from others and how to manage and run a branch, that type of thing. But I quickly learned and that definitely it wasn't the industry for me as far as what I liked and enjoyed and had a lot of interest in. And so that's kind of just where it was a challenge to stay motivated there and stay, intrigued with the industry and with the job because of that. And so it definitely took a lot of time to kind of just find, who or what I want to get into, where I want to be. And obviously it's still a learning process, but it was definitely a challenge that way, trying to adjust and get into something that I'm going to enjoy more and follow interests and passions really. So,
Right. I remember our first call, man.
yeah.
One of the things you said to me that stood out to me was you were like, man, I'm sitting here and I'm just wondering day to day, what am I doing with my life? And I was like, man,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
you, Andrew. I feel you on that one because I told you this, I felt like I was talking to myself a few years ago because
Hmm.
I know that's the case, not just with former athletes, but so many people, man, just day to day, we find ourselves kind of ending up places more so than choosing them,
Right. Right.
which has a lot to do with whether it's lack of clarity, I think is the number one thing,
Hmm.
which is tough for us athletes when all you've been doing is your sport for X amount of years. It's kind of like, man, I never even stopped to think about what I wanted to do. And then you just find yourself sitting in the cubicle one day, then, chances are you took that job because it was the first offer that came your way. And from there, that's where the work really starts in terms of, figuring out what you want to do.
Right.
So
Definitely.
I know you were also telling me back then that you were wanting to take the same energy, that same, drive that you had that you were putting into basketball and
Hmm.
figure out a way to apply it to something else.
Hmm.
And we weren't necessarily sure what that outlet was going to be. We talked about a few things. It was like a few routes you could have potentially taken. I know it was automotive industry. I know you love cars.
Right.
Um,
Definitely.
it was finance.
Hmm.
There was another one that's slipping my mind. Automotive finance. There's another one.
Um, I would say, well, real estate we talked about a little bit as well.
That's
Well,
right.
the other one was, and then radio too,
Yes,
tied
sir.
in.
How could we forget?
Yeah.
How could we forget the
So,
radio?
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
I didn't even know, man. You had hidden talents. I found out,
yeah.
through the grapevine that you are a radio DJ at Cal
Right.
Lutheran. So there was a portion during the program where we were considering you taking that route.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and in terms of real estate, I know that that's something that you definitely want to get into down the
Yeah.
line. Once you and I have both talked about that, once we're kind of both in a financial position to be able
Right.
to do that. Who knows, man? Maybe you and I will end up going in on some real estate,
Some deals. Yeah.
endeavors later down the line. So who knows? But one thing was for sure, man, and this was pretty clear from my first time talking to you, was that you wanted to make an impact, you know,
Hmm.
and ultimately, and we can talk about this in a second, but ultimately what we discovered was you wanted to make an impact financially in terms of giving people access. I'll let you talk about all that. But for now, during that time, going from the place where we were at the beginning with you trying to figure out what your new outlet was going to be, to ultimately discovering that and then taking action on that, what was one of the biggest things during the program that you had to overcome internally for you
Hmm.
to start out on this new track, this new path that you're on?
Hmm. I would say just, I mean, a couple things, but not 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 being fearful and not being over analyzing things. I think for me was definitely something that um, I knew I would do it at times, but still just overcoming it and just like, just putting it aside, catching, like you. I mean, I love the analogy that you gave, and you sent the picture of the watchtower type thing with
Oh, right.
the airplanes coming in like at an airport, and just seeing those thoughts of fear or negativity or whatever it is come in, and not get those out of there. Like you see it, watch it come in, and get rid of it, send it out. And that was big for me, I think, just to really be able to just kind of push those thoughts away and just go after it and just take action and not like push it off or anything like that. I think just taking that step forward and not caring, what other people think, or just going after. Once I narrowed down kind of what I want to do and be and go after, just taking the action, taking the step to go forward instead of being hesitant or thinking about things too much, and just analysis paralysis type thing. So like that was big for me. And then of
Right.
course the other thing was just narrowing down. Had too many like arrays of things I thought of, but just narrowing down. Okay, like what's the one thing I really see myself doing and wanting to do, and go after it. First and foremost. So I would say
Hmm.
those two.
Yeah, man, it's been amazing to watch that with you too, because once you did lock in, like, okay, finance, and I want
Hmm.
to, that's how I want to have my impact. I want to help people through finance. It was amazing to watch you overcome that, um, paralysis by analysis and just really start taking action. And I'm always thinking way into the future. And so I see what you're doing now and the path that you're on and what this could turn into, not even like way in the future, but like in a year's time. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's
Hmm.
like amazing to actually think about what that could actually look like. Um, so yeah, why don't you just talk for a second about, what it is that you're up to and what you've been doing in terms of having that impact financially with people.
Yeah, definitely. So I just kind of jumped in and started. Well, I've already for the last probably year and a half, um, or yeah, year and a half, been reading and learning a lot about different finance stuff and just everything from just financial literacy overall, and just from there, just you were the one who encouraged me just to I already know a good amount. Like don't like I need to wait to be like some type of amazing expert, over
Right.
on everything to start sharing and helping others. And so that was the first thing, just to jump in and just start, sharing. And so that's for me, just wanted to start helping others have financial literacy and just be able to, have a better economic standpoint of, learning how to save their money, have a budget, invest, different types of things like that. And yeah, I mean, I just jumped in. I started with I created a YouTube channel, and started putting videos on there just on different things to help people of different backgrounds, whether young, old, whatever it is, just to financial literacy, to learn and have a better understanding of how money works, that type of thing. And I created a podcast as well, and then actually just popped up a website. So variety of things, just working on those and getting those things going. So
Man, it's only been a week since we talked. I didn't even know you had the website up and the podcast was launched, man. I didn't even know about all this. This
yeah,
is news to me.
yeah,
See, you've been making moves,
yeah,
man. You've been making moves and a week went by. No
right.
more paralysis by analysis for you, my friend.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's going in. You got to go in.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited now. Now, as soon as we get off this call, I'm gonna check out the podcast and everything. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Um, so yeah, and I love what you're doing, man, especially with the YouTube channel and all that. Like, it's just very, someone like me, I'm good at kind of like the business side, or I guess kind of like the vision part of it, and
Hmm.
executing, or like doing phone calls, with clients and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the numbers and balancing a spreadsheet or budgeting, I've been known to splurge every now and then. So,
Right. Yeah.
watching your videos and all the insight that you give has been helpful for me. So I just know, and I know you're only getting started. You
Right.
just started this a few weeks ago, but I know that's going to have an impact on so many people because the way that you're delivering the information is not complicated. It makes it easily digestible for anyone who's wanted to learn about finance, or just something as simple as having a better, budget or spending habits.
Hmm.
Um, Even just with you putting that information out there, giving people the chance to just take a second and stop and think about what they're doing with their money and what their plan is
Right.
long term makes all
Right.
the difference. And it's just so personable. I love the videos because you're just being yourself. You're not trying to get
Yeah.
up there like you're some, you know, listen to me, I'm the expert.
Right.
You're
Right.
just being Andrew, and it comes across that
Yeah.
way, which is why people are going to listen to you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's awesome, man. I want to talk more about that in a second, but just general advice, because I know that you've reached a place where I guess you can officially say you're kind of out of that like the lost phase that we all go through
Hmm.
at the transition. You're more like you have clarity about the future, about your vision. So, what advice would you give to a former athlete who is currently in the middle of that lost phase in their transition?
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. I think I would just encourage them to go after, what they're passionate about, what they're interested in. I think we all kind of have that, whether it's deep down and we maybe push it off or hide it or whatever it is. Like, explore those things and really kind of dig in deeper into what those are and start going after them. And you're going to learn from there. Obviously with the help of others, someone like Taj, that you can really find like trial and error, and also just narrow things down into even a more specific, okay, this is like the one thing that I really want to pursue, start going after. And then obviously, like, as you progress and grow and have success, you're able to also expand out and do even more things. So I think the biggest thing is, yeah, just start going after what you're passionate and interested in, whether it be, stuff you've already had in college, other things, hobbies. If we're all talking to athletes here. So, like, on downtime, whether it's on the bus ride, whether it's traveling or just after a game, things you do like that you just like to do, you have fun, just whether it's listening to music, creating music, whatever it is, start exploring and pursuing those things that you're interested in outside of the sports, or even if it's in sports, of course, and see how you can kind of create that and make that something that you do down the road and now as a career. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's great, Andrew. That's huge, man, because you touched on something really important where it's like everybody does have something,
Hmm.
and you hear it over and over again, find your passion and find something that, you're interested in. And I understand from the other end, it can be frustrating if you feel like, well, I don't know what that is. I don't,
Yeah.
or you hear people say it. I hear people on calls all the time, like, I don't have any passions, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it really does, kind of like you were saying, I think it takes two things. The first thing is to spend time, think about it, examine yourself and see what those things are, right?
Right.
Where
Definitely.
your skills match ways that you can contribute, things that you would do for free, things that excite you.
Hmm.
And then also, I think something you touched on that's important. The second part is not belittling yourself.
Yeah.
Like, let's say if you did want to get back into being a radio DJ or something, or like I talk to people like, oh, I want to be a music producer. And it's like,
Hmm.
well, everybody does that now. But like, yeah, I mean, if you get good enough at it, like, I'm not saying you're going to be a multimillionaire from making music, but you'd be
Right.
more fulfilled if when you come home from your job, you make music, and you never know where it could
Hmm.
lead.
Hmm.
things like that. So really important stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Definitely.
I think you hit a lot of important topics right there. So what advice would you give, just in general, to any athlete who is working with me or going through my program? Now that you've come
Mm-hmm.
out the other side of it, what advice would you give from that perspective?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say definitely just be willing to share and open up. I mean, the more, I think that's the way you're going to get the most out of it is, I mean, because Todd, you've been great, man, and just insights that you pick up, just from us, from me sharing, and from us going over all different types of stuff, like just things that you picked up that I never really thought about, or like that I like the honestly the radio thing, the DJ thing. I was like, no, that was just a college thing. That was just for fun. Although I really enjoyed it, I was like, no, it's probably over with. I'm done with school, and you kind of picked up on that, and like, okay, like you can tie that in. You can, you showed me the podcast thing that I can easily keep that something that I do and that I enjoy, and I can still share information with and help others with. And so I think just be as open with him as you can, and just the other thing was probably do, or it is, do. So there's a lot of action items that you give out. Make sure you're doing those things, and make sure you just make an effort to apply them, daily after you talk about it and go over it, each week. Apply those things, the next day or that same day. Make sure you continue to do those things, and you'll see the benefit. You'll see the progress. Like I saw it, after week one, just certain things we talked about, just jumped in, and I was like, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to go after it. And, week after week, I was like, wow, like I already see progression and growth. And so that was what's really cool about it. So,
Right, man.
yeah.
Great advice right there. It's exciting what you said about the whole DJ thing too, because now
Mm-hmm.
it's in the back of your mind. So whatever else you do, with this whole financial movement that you're on, we talked about, like, you have an opportunity to utilize that skill that you use, that you enjoy, being basically in broadcasting. Like, this is the greatest era,
Yeah.
probably of human history, to broadcast. So you get to be sort of
Right.
that radio DJ that you were in college now from a different perspective, and bringing your personality to,
Mm-hmm.
financial literacy on podcasts, on videos. You still get to do that. And who knows, you might even, get back into something actually related to music and DJing one day, if that's something you choose to do. Because now
Definitely.
if you want to do it, like, all you got to do is go do it. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, man, what's next for you? I know you have some big plans, for what you want to do. We talked about conferences, and you going to speak and doing all these types of things. So
Mm-hmm.
what's on the horizon for you, I guess, in the immediate future, just down the line with what you're up to these days?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so for me, it's just obviously continue to learn and grow myself, get better. But what I'm learning, financially and stuff, applying it and sharing it with others, but through my different platforms, through YouTube channel, through podcast, and then from there being able to take it and continue to pair up with people and connect with others and network to be able to also then put together some conferences or speaking events that I can also do, to share information and help people. The bottom line is like teach financial literacy, teach, because a lot of people, we don't learn it in school, really don't, whether it's elementary through high school through college. We don't really learn a lot of stuff that we need in our daily lives once we become, adults and live on our own, that type of thing. So really want to get that out there and get that information out there and help others from making mistakes that can be costly and take them, setback to take them years to get over. So that's a big thing for me. And I think from there, continue to go and see where it goes. But that's kind of the more immediate stuff for me.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what the future holds for that. I see what you're doing as preventative maintenance, making sure
Mm-hmm.
people don't fall into some of those traps that, well, I can't speak for you. I know you're doing well, but I definitely fell into some traps, man,
Yeah, no, we
within
all
recent
have for sure.
years, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I thought I was doing well, and then turn around and it's ugly for me. So,
right.
definitely,
Yeah.
man. So how can people get in touch? I know you're doing on Instagram, you got the motivational Mondays, the
Mm-hmm.
financial Fridays, but
Mm-hmm.
talk to me about the podcast. And I'm asking for me too, because, I need to see what's up with the podcast and the website, and how can people get in
Yeah.
touch or look you up, man?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of my stuff is on Instagram. So it's just my Instagram is the real underscore and then my last name, Atakpo. So KPO.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my Instagram, but also just YouTube is just my name, Andrew Atakpo. So if you want to look that up, it's on there. And then podcast is kind of cool. It's actually through Anchor, but it's on every channel now. So like anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can find mine. It's called Hump Day Vibes. So you can search.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
see you.
yeah.
Nice. I love that, man. That's great.
Yeah, so you can search that anywhere. And that I have a mix of actually right now more so just kind of I call it hump day vibes just because it's like kind of get you through the rest of the week, some type of motivation, encouragement to get you through from Wednesday to Friday through the weekend. So right now it's some kind of encouragement stuff, but I'll also be adding some financial stuff on there as well. But it's also on Spotify, so that's kind of cool. If you have Spotify, you can just search it on there. And I think that's it. Instagram, yeah. And then the website actually, I still have to create my own domain to make it a little easier, but you guys, it'll be on Instagram. You can find it on there. So yeah, those where you can find me at.
Okay, awesome, man. Definitely. Yeah. We'll talk about the domain and all that stuff in just a second. I got something for you for that.
Okay.
But that's great, man. Yeah, everybody, please get in touch with Andrew. Check out what he's doing. He's just getting started. He has a lot of good information out there already, and it's only going to go up from there. So please get in touch with him and check out what he's up to these days. Especially if you need to get your finances in order, which who doesn't? Yep. You know what I mean? Even if you're doing well, who doesn't?
Exactly.
So, man, this has been a great journey working with you. I really, this is why I wanted to have you come on because I know you have a lot to share. Mm-hmm. Really enjoyed our conversations. It was a pleasure, and I know it's only the beginning. We do 8 weeks together, but you and I are going to be involved with each other in one way or another for a lifetime, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. Mm-hmm. The projects we're going to be working on together. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you and thank you for being a great student of the program and allowing me to grow as a coach. And just thanks for the time, man. It was a great experience working with you. So, not only are you a client, but you're a friend now, and that's how I see it in a real way. So thank you, man. I appreciate the time, and thank you for coming on today, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
No, really, it's great. So I enjoy working with you every the full weeks, and fantastic program, man. I learned a lot, and it was something that I definitely was able to pull a lot from. And it's something you said real quick. I think even before I jumped into the program was that you told me I have no doubt like you're going to get where you're supposed to be, where your potential is. But I think with us working together, I can really help you narrow that down and get there a lot faster. And that kind of resonated with me, and that's something that I think is true. And so it's definitely helped me kind of pinpoint exactly what I want to go after and start going after it faster and get there faster as well. So I definitely appreciate your help, and it's been great. And yeah, we'll definitely be in touch for a lot more stuff in the future. So look forward to it, man.
Yes, sir. Don't make me emotional here, man. All right. Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me in front of these people, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Thank you, man. That really does mean a lot to me, though. I'm being serious. I was getting emotional for a second. I had to catch myself because, like, that's all I've really set out to do is go back in time and be the person that I needed in my corner during the transition. Because it really took me like 5-6 years to figure my life out. Like, this is what I love to do. I love to help guys like yourself and help them figure out what they're going to do. Because I had people who helped me do it, but those people didn't come into my life until later. And it took me like 5-6 years of just struggling, job hopping and trial and error. So yeah, man, that means a lot. I'm glad it's working because I'm just trying to speed up that process. If we can take what took me 5-6 years to learn, put that into 8 weeks, hey man, that's everything. That means everything to me. So really appreciate that, man.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, man, I'll let you go. I know you got business to take care of today. So,
all good. Yeah.
Everybody, if you're watching this right now, please get in touch with Andrew. If you enjoyed the video, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, because this can help a lot of people. So, especially people who feel like no one understands what they're going through right now. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks again, Andrew. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Sounds good, Tosh. Thanks a lot.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.